Hey everyone, welcome to an HD video review of my Transformers alternator tracks. Now as you can probably see, he's a little, it looks like he's about to bust open, doesn't he? I got this back, I believe, when the alternators first came out. Now in case you're wondering, what is an alternator? What portion of the Transformer franchise or toy franchise is that? Alternators are basically Transformer figures by Hasbro, which are sort of like those collector car figures. You know, those little collector cars you would find in stores. They were packaged and they were basically modeled off actual cars, classic cars and stuff like that. Well, that's sort of where these alternators come from. The alternators are basically G1-esque kind of inspirations, or basically, well, they're kind of inspired G1-esque, if you will, inspirations of those kind of classic cars. Basically, they're basically Hasbro, I guess, was working, and I think they still work with them. I'm not sure, but they were working with all the car companies out there, the Chevrons, the Chevrolets, the Nissans, the Hondas, the Toyotas, you name them. And this one here, from what I read online, is a Chevrolet Corvette. This one is Trax. And he's modeled after a Chevrolet Corvette. And let me just tell you something. I haven't transformed this guy in years since I got him. I transformed him from car mode to robot mode. I had not transformed him back since then until now. And believe me, it's not as easy. It's not a lot easier than people say. Now, if you want to take a look at the back, you can see Trax's head there. If you will, you can see the detail of the car, the mufflers, and all that. Pretty damn cool. And up here, you got the Chevrolet logo. If we can go in real close on that, see the logo there. And then on the back, and of course on the side, actually, we should show that first. You got the logos right here. Kind of give you the idea, the impression that, like I said, they're sort of inspired by those classic cars you would find in the toy section at the stores. And on the back, you have the word Corvette. I don't think you can really see that, but it says Corvette on the back. Whoa, didn't mean to get you too zoomed in. Like I said, I don't think you can really see that. But it basically says Corvette. And the one thing I will say about the alternators, the alternators, is a very detailed. Again, they take inspiration from those classic cars, toy cars that you see in the packagings that you will buy for your kids, but you always want to make sure your kids take care of them. And for example, when you open up the door here, you got to be careful. They do get a little stiff. You can see the detail of the door. You got great detail in here. You go inside. And if we can probably get in there a little bit, I don't know if you can. You can see the detail. I'm sorry for the little blurriness. The sun kind of comes in. But you see the detail most definitely from there. And you can see it from the window. That is a great thing there. And then in here you got the wheel. Movable wheels. That's very, very cool. A lot of great detail went into this. And that's the one thing, like I said, with the alternators brand that you won't get with anybody else. I mean, they just got a distinct brand to them. And like I said, you could see that detail. And of course you got the little mirrors on the side. And that's really, really cool. And that's what I liked about this. I mean, when I first saw them at Walmart, because I got this when I was working there, it really was kind of surprising that I didn't even know they came out with this. You know, I started reading up on it a little bit more. And the wheels, very well done, rubberist wheels, if you will. And the wheels are actually redials, Cybertronic, Chevrolet, I think. Wheels, so that's really good. I mean, I like that. And again, you know, if you're a collector of classic car toys, and of course we have the little symbol up here too, on the back, then this is definitely something for you, if you're a Transformer fan as well, to get, because it combines the best, it gives you the best of both worlds. Now, the thing is, I will say this about the alternators, and, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't zoom out too well. I will say this about the alternators. Now, you do see the flexibility, first of all, with the wheels, so that's really cool. Goes back and forth, I really like that. But the one thing about the alternators is, if you think the Transformer figures for the movies are hard to do sometimes, these, well, they're not as hard, but they're not as easy to transform back and forth. So if I don't transform him back to car mode, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go through that again. It's just a painstaking task to do. But you see him in car mode here now anyway, so that kind of gives you the benefit of the doubt. And then right here you have the word Corvette. Chevrolet Corvette, pretty cool. But now how do you transform him? Well, like I said, it's easier said than done. What you need to do and like I said, it's easier said than done because it gives you the beneficiary of both worlds. Is you need to open this, and of course, oh yeah, and that opens up, gives you a little detail of like under the engine and stuff like that. But you want to open that up, I think, and then you kind of want to, well, you want to push down on the window shield as well. You kind of want to get to certain sections, pull them down, do what you have to do. Now, what you want to do, and it's like I said, it's easier said than done, folks. Basically meaning it's not that easy. Because once they transform, it's a pain in the butt to kind of get them back to robot mode. Unless you have the instructions, and I don't know what I did with my instructions. I know. Okay, well, first of all, you want to try to separate this as best you can without breaking it. And like I said, it's a lot easier said than done. There we go. You want to kind of pop it out real nice and carefully, best you can. You want to get that pop sound, if you can. Again, like I say, you don't want to end up breaking it. And I will say this, if you haven't done this kind of a transformer in a while, it does take a lot of patience, folks. It takes a lot of patience. And they end up getting very, very stiff, if you will. I pray that with the other alternators they brought out, they've learned a lesson not to make it difficult, if you will. You want to, basically the trick is to fiddle around with it. There we go. There we go. You want to, there you go. I don't know if you saw that. Hopefully you have, but that's what you got to do. You got to fiddle around with it until you feel these two things pop off. Well, not pop off the thing, but just pop till you can get to the legs. the legs clamp into here when you transform it to robot mode. They got these little things here, and these metallic things stick right into there. So what you want to do is get those out of these little grooves here, these little grooves, and put them down. And then you want to. Then what's crazy is you want to push these up again, so you can get to the feet. You want to push these back up, so you can get to the feet. Turn them around, and then connect these as best as you can to the wheels. Like I said, it's easier said than done, folks. A lot easier said than done, because unless you've had these kind of transformers back when we were kids, it's not as easy as it looks. And then of course you got these little heels here. You want to pull those out so you can get them to stand. That probably makes sense, if you will. Then you want to try to stand him up straight, and that's sort of what he looks like right now. But then the other part's another pain in the stinking butt. There we go. You kind of, like I said, just like before, you want to fiddle around with it a little bit. You want to fiddle around with it just a little bit. Don't break it. That's the most obvious thing. You don't want to do that. There we go. Like I said, you want to fiddle around with it as best as you can. Now that we're getting him into robot mode, you can see I already put the flap down. The thing is, when you have him in car mode, what you got to do is you got to lift this up like that, and that's how it is in car mode. That's how you saw him. And then when you put him in robot mode, you want to snap that out, snap there, boom, there you go. Now, finishing the transformation, like I said, it's easier said than done, folks. Easier said than done. What you want to do is you want to turn these up right here. These are, of course, his infamous pipes. You want to put those up. Then the arms are right here. So what you want to do is you want to dig these suckers out best you can. And, sometimes good luck with that. You want to bring these out. You want to turn them a little bit, if I remember correctly. There we go. You want to turn them so that they match up with the toy. Okay, and I think pull that down a little bit, put these to the side. I think that's how I had it last time. Put these down. Again, like I said, it's a lot easier said than done. And get them stand correctly. There you have tracks, I believe. And you want to push that down too. Push the back down a little bit. And like I said, there you have tracks in his robot, in his Autobot mode. If I can stand them up correctly. Got a lot of bulk on him because he likes to lean forward, apparently. There we go. I don't have a turntable like for Matrix or Optibotomist, but still. There is tracks in robot mode.